Okay, our next task is to open up PSA4. So we're going to go back to our Web Design 1 Google Classroom and open up PSA4. We skipped over A3, and we're going to go ahead and download this after we open it in a new window. So we have a different looking parrot this time, and he's also sitting crooked. So we're going to fix a few things here. One of the things that you can do in Photoshop is to rotate images and also to flip them. So the first thing we're going to do once we have this open in here is to go up to our image tab again. And this time we're going to go down to image rotation. We have the option to do 180 degrees, 90 degrees, CW is clockwise, and 90 degrees CCW is counterclockwise. So we're going to go ahead and hit the 90 degrees clockwise button, and it's going to flip our parrot right side up, which is what we wanted. And then the other thing we're going to talk about in this lesson is something called our canvas size. So the bed of pixels that makes up an image is referred to as our canvas. So when we're looking at this picture, all of the pixels here we refer to as our canvas. And we can always transform the size of our canvas, which is what we're going to do here. So right now what we're going to do is go to image again and click on canvas size. And you're going to notice here that we have, right now it says our current size is 4 by 6 inches. And we are going to change this to a width of 6 and a height of 8. Okay. And then what we're going to want to do is click on the canvas extension color, and instead of the background, we're going to choose white. All that's saying is that as we extend this canvas out, we want it to turn into a white area instead of the other colors. The next thing that we're going to do is it's going to ask, how do we want our pixels to essentially go? Do we want them to go straight up? Do we want them to go to the upper left, lower left, bottom right, or top right, or off to any one of the sides or bottoms? So we're going to click the lower left arrow in the grid like this, and you're going to notice that what it's saying is our picture is going to be anchored down here, and our new pixels are going to go out as shown by the arrows, which is what we want. So when your screen looks like mine, go ahead and click OK. And if you need to, you can double click your hand tool so that you can see your entire canvas on your screen. Notice that our picture went down to the lower left corner like we wanted, and the new pixels that got added went up into the upper right. So this is what we wanted. That's called transforming our canvas. All we did is make our picture bigger, as noted over here in our little background thumbnail too. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add another picture on top of this. So what we need to do is we're going to go back to our Google Classroom. We can close out of this. And we're going to open A5. Go ahead and download. And then click on it to open in Photoshop. So this is the first time that we've had multiple images open in Photoshop. You're going to see we have PSA5 here. We also have PSA4 still listed over here. So you just have two file tabs open, which is fine. One thing I want to point out to you is, do you see this little asterisk that is next to the PSA4 title? That just simply means that we've made changes to this file and we haven't saved it yet. So if we wanted to, I'm not going to recommend it right now because again, this is just practice, so we don't need to save. But if you see that little asterisk while you're working on one of your assignments, that means that you haven't saved and it's a good idea to do so. Okay, so go ahead and click back on our PSA5, which is that lovely little parrot that we've seen before. And what we're going to do is we're going to flip this parrot or use our image rotation again. So we go up to the image tab and we go down to image rotation. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to flip our canvas horizontally. Okay. And when we do that, watch what happens to little birdie. He flips from facing to the left to now facing to the right. We use this a lot in my yearbook class when we want to make sure that the picture is not like looking off the page. So that's something that you can think about when you're going to be putting together some of your assignments, is if you need to flip an image, that option is available. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this whole image and we're going to go and put it on our other canvas. So in order to do that, what we need to do is we need to select all of the pixels that are here in this image. So if you notice up on our file menu bar, we have a select tab. So go ahead and hit the select and then choose the option for all. Notice that there's also a control keyboard shortcut. If you do control A, that will select everything. Now we're going to talk about this a little bit more in our next section, but this is called a marquee. If you see this white and black line, it kind of looks like it's dotted and kind of moving. That means that you've made a selection of all of these pixels. Once you have that, we want to go up to our Edit tab, and then we're going to go down and hit Copy. Now we're going to close this A5. We don't need it anymore. We've got what we need. It's been copied to our clipboard. So we're going to close this and say, no, we don't want to save. And it's going to bring us back to our A4, our transformed canvas with the other parrot. And now what we want to do is go up to Edit again. And this time we're going to go to Paste. Again, you could use the Control shortcut, Control V. And when we paste that in here, notice a couple of things. One, the image that we copied of the other parrot is here on top of our parrot image. And notice that over here on our layers panel, we now have a new layer. Okay, it says layer 1. And if we want to move this parrot, which we don't want it covering up our other image, we can grab something called our move tool. Our move tool is at the very top of our tool panel. It looks like a little triangle with a little cross next to it. Go ahead and click on that and then click on your parrot and it's going to move. Okay. One thing to keep in mind when you're working with this is that notice that the layer 1 is kind of selected. It almost looks, to me, it looks a little blue, but if you have, maybe if you're colorblind, it might not look blue to you, but this one is selected right now. If we were to click on our background and we still have our move tool and we were trying to move our parrot, it's going to say you can't do this because that layer is locked. You see the little lock sign right here? So we click OK. If you want to move that parrot, you have to be clicked on that layer first, and then you can move this wherever you want to. We're going to put it kind of up and toward the top out of the way. So now that was us working on adding a selection to our newly transformed canvas. Okay. With that being said, we've done everything we need to with these two files. So you can go ahead and close both of these. And then no, we don't need to save. And we will be back here in just a second to do our next little ditty.